Hello guys, we're back with another video. This time we're doing 2022 House predictions. And let me just edit this map a bit. This Montana State's going to be safe Republican, over 10% victory. Boebert, I think she's going to win by over 10% as well. Seat in Tennessee, not really that competitive. I think the Republican will win by over 10%. And in the Georgia 6 election, again, I think the Republicans, it's going to be a fairly safe seat. No real strong Democrat is running there. Any other seats I question? Let's see here. No, I agree with all the Iowa ratings. Here, this is going to be a likely Republican seat. Democrat's not running for re-election here, even though I think he should. I think he would have a fighting chance here, even in 2022, but I still think the Republicans would probably beat him even if he did run. All right, let's head on with this. Henry Cuellar, I also think he's probably going to pull off a narrow victory. Same, Mari Flores, I think she's going to get defeated here by a likely Democratic margin. I don't think she has a temporary seat there. Democrats really didn't invest here on purpose just to make Republicans waste money. In the open state in Texas, I think it's going to be really Republicans. Very even divided seat. Let's get to these last few ones over here. David Valadao. It's a heavily Democratic seat, and I think the Democrats will be able to narrowly edge him out here. However, Mike Garcia, always shown he's able to win close races. I think he'll win here. Same with Michelle Steele. Same with Katie Porter. I think she would win by a likely Democratic margin, to be honest. She's very vocal in Congress, and I think voters like that about a representative. In Colorado, it's a fairly even seat. Considering it's a neutral year, I think Republicans will be able to pick this one up. Connecticut, I think it's going to be a likely seat still. I don't think it's going to be super competitive. Agree with these ratings. Sydney Axney, I do think she's going to lose. I think Republicans will have a 100% delegation in Iowa for sure. Shane Caston, I agree. I would put it as a lean margin. Same with Illinois' new open seat here. I think it's going to be fairly good for Republicans. Or really decently competitive, but it's still Biden one seat by 11 points. Jerry Bustos, I think she's probably going to lose her old... Well, she's not running here, but I think Republicans will be able to edge out the Democrats here in this seat. But yeah, really hard to override 7.8%, but I think they could pull it off. They invest enough money here. Sharice Davids, I also anticipate her to narrowly lose here by a very close margin. Jared Golden, again, perfect moderate Democrat. I think he's going to win here against his Republican opponent, considering it's Bruce Poliquin again, which he did... I'm pretty sure he did defeat before. I think he'll defeat him again. Peter Mayhear's seat. If he wins the primary, as I'm assuming, I think he still will carry it out. But if he loses, this might even be a Democratic flip. But in the off, if he wins, I think it'll be likely Republican. If he loses, I think it's a true toss-up. I could even see the Republicans probably still winning it in a nightmare scenario for Democrats, but I'm assuming he holds on, so I'm going to repeat that as a lean Republican for now. Alyssa Slotkin. She's a very tough moderate in the Congress. Plus, the Democrats are going to do well in the governor's race in Michigan, so I do think it'll be a bit of a down ballot effect, and it'll help Democrats here hold her seat. Same with Daniel Kildee. I anticipate him to win. Michigan's 10th district. I still think the Republicans are going to win. It's a fairly Republican district. Angela Craig, I think the Democrats will be able to narrowly hold her seat. Same with North Carolina 1, but the open seat in North Carolina will go to the Republican hands. In New Hampshire, I mean, the Senate race isn't a blowout yet. It's not a likely race. And plus, there'll be a bit of a down ballot effect with Chris Sununu, probably cruising to an easy victory in New Hampshire. So I do think there'll be a lot of Republican turnout and anticipate them to at least flip one of New Hampshire's House seats. Agree with the ratings on New Jersey and New Mexico. I think Yvette Harrell's still going to win re-election here. She won in 2020. And now, even though her seat's a lot more Democratic, I still anticipate her winning re-election. Susie Lee, I think it's going to be a very split delegation in Nevada in the House races in 2022, so I agree with all these ratings. Thomas Swoozy, I think I think someone in his seat. It'll be a very competitive seat, but I think he'll pull off a victory here. New York 19, I disagree. I think Republicans will win here while John Katko, the Republican running here, probably lose to the Democrat. New York 18, I'll come back to. I gotta look at the map for that one. Marcy Kaptur, she's in a fairly Republican-leaning seat. So that's not really the best for her, but she did serve 20 terms in Congress. She's going to be into her 20th term. And Ohio's having a decently competitive Senate race, so I do think Democrats will edge out the Republicans just narrowly here. But it'll be very, very close. Kurt Strader, a progressive, took over his seat here. I think that progressive will win. Susan Wild, she's in a very neutral seat. I think the Republicans will probably be able to win it come November. Matt Cartwright, it'll be a very competitive race, but I still think Republicans will win here. Connor Lamb's old seat, I think Democrat will hold here. It's 6 points Democratic. I think they'll do decently here in the PA governor's race, and some Democrat would probably win here. Chris DeLuzzo, that's who's running. Okay. Let's see here. I agree with all these ratings. Elaine Luria, I think the Republicans are destined to win this seat. While the seat in Washington, 6.9% Democratic. I would say the Democrats win with the Roe v. Wade momentum. Let's see how much seats the Democrats are up to. So 229 to 205 in this last seat here. I mean, New York 17 is decently competitive. I'd say Republicans will be able to win this seat here and flip it for their side. So overall, this is what I estimate. 230 Republicans to 205 Democrats. Going into this, I would assume the Republicans will be in close around the 233 range, but now I'm analyzing these seats. I think the Democrats are going to do a bit better than they did last video I did in July. So that's my August prediction of the House races. 230 to 205. Let me know what you think of this election prediction in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.